All right, English teacher friends. So in this video, I am going to share another one of my Word Study Academy gamifications to teach vocabulary, ultimately to augment the vocabularies of our students. So one of the things that we've discussed quite a bit is this idea that there's a vocabulary void. I just finished my 20th year in the classroom, and I know that when I inherit my new students this coming fall, there's going to be a vocabulary void. That's it's widening, and the argument is, are kids reading less than they did than students, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. And I don't think the argument is less. I think it's text quality. I think the kids are doing a lot of reading. It's just that they're not reading the types of texts that benefit their academic diction. So we have a task to do there. We have some heavy lifting to do to help, augment that vocabulary. I call it tier 2 level vocabulary. And by tier 2, I just mean your average run-of-the-mill SAT level words. So this is just one of many word study activities, gamification exercises I do to keep things rich, to keep my students on their toes, but most importantly to keep things engaging. I've seen vocabulary taught in very dry, pedantic ways, and I think about how I learned vocabulary as a kid. 30 years ago, it's just, those methods our kids are begging for more. I'm finding if it lacks engagement, they ain't likely to do it. So this one incorporates Yahtzee, and ultimately I do this one when I'm front loading tone identification words. So I teach Lit, I teach Lang, AP Lit and AP Lang, and it's really imperative, I think, when students identify tone, that they do so with tier 2 level words. I really think that's key. You can't, at that level in particular, kids can't be saying, Rita Dove's poem is sad. Stanley Kunitz in his poem uses a happy, glad, sad tone, right? So that's not going to work for those purposes. So I like to have them incorporate some tier 2 in their analysis of the poem or text, whatever it is that we're doing. So here's kind of some things that I've noticed in teaching vocabulary over the years, is this idea that students are vocabulary sponges. And the problem is that most of our students don't exercise the pause when they write. So I'm a writer. I've written textbooks. I've published poetry manuscripts, and I'm usually one of the first ones in the building in the morning at my school. And I devote about an hour and a half every day to writing. And one thing that I've, trained myself to do is exercise the pause. And we as, teachers probably understand this, but our students really need to adapt the practice. So I'll be writing, and I'll pause and I'll say, what's the right word? What's the right word? And when I'm asking that question, what's the right word, I'm usually searching or trying to retrieve a tier 2 level word. And our students have thousands, millions of tier 2 level words deep in the recesses and folds of their memory. They've, just by being in existence for 15, 16, 17, 18 years, they've absorbed so many words. And these exercises really are neat in terms of showcasing how much they actually know as far as the vocabularies go. And it's very empowering to see them flourish and take off and get confident with their word choice through these exercises. So as I said, it's a front-loading tone identification exercise. What I'll show you in a second is, let's say that I'm going to teach 5 poems or 5 speeches for rhetorical analysis. I will preview those 5 texts and write down in a notepad the types of tone words I hope my students have. I wish they had these words, and I will teach them those words. So I have a list of tone words that I give my students, and we talk about these. And this is not an exhaustive list. And I think a lot of teachers have tone identification word list. This is just mine. It's pages of stuff, and we do vocabulary journals around the tier 2 level words that they don't know, but I can get into that in another video. It's not really part of this. So typically I try to add to the our tone word bank as the year progresses. So in terms of playing Yahtzee, here's how this works. So I my typical class size is about 24 to 26. My AP classes tend to be about 18 to 19. So I like to have teams of about 3 to 4 students. So I put my desk in like a quad arrangement. And for this one, we just play straight up Yahtzee, and I wouldn't even get so hung up on the rules. Like you can bend the rules and tweak the rules so that it makes sense for your learner and your kids. And you'll find as you gamify your instruction that rules morph and change and evolve, and kids will want to change things as they go along. But I basically have a point system for the Yahtzee rules here. So what we do is this. With the words that we're going to take a look at, if the students have to use the dictionary, they lose half off the point that they got playing the Yahtzee, doing the Yahtzee instruction. So let's say that the team has I don't know, a small straight. If they use the dictionary, instead of 50 points, they're going to get 25 points. So ultimately, as a team, I want them to take a gander at the word. And I challenge them, like, it, you've heard it. Like, all of these words they've heard before. So what I've done is I've created a wheel. It's just a PowerPoint spinning wheel. I'll show you the actual wheel in just a second, of the tone words that I think are very applicable to the rhetorical analysis, the poems, the short stories, whatever it is that we're reading. And I'll show you the actual slide here and how it looks. So it looks just like this. So you just spin it, and it lands on the word. So, and this is editable. I can send this to you if you want. You can put your own words in it. That's what I did for this. So let me get back to this slide here. So they land on a word, and let's say it's pompous, right? As a group, they're going to do their Yahtzee, right, to determine the point value. And ultimately, what we're going to do is the team who got the highest, all right, who has the most points in the Yahtzee turn, goes first, and they will have a chance to define it, provide a sentence or two where they use the word in context, provide synonyms of the word, and you can even go opposites if you want. That's pretty cool to do as well. And when they do synonyms, I often like them to use tier 2 level synonyms. And then if you want to, my students are kind of goofy, especially my AP students always tend to be goofy and like to act things out. Sometimes we do like silent tableaus of the word. So define, provide context, synonym, and act it out. So you just go around based on however the kids scored with regards to the Yahtzees. Students can steal points if students are giving wrong definitions or not defining the word correctly, or they use it incorrectly in context, or give wrong synonyms, etc. Again, in terms of that gamification process and the rules, you can run your own show on that. So let's say that the students landed on pensive, right? Define, use it in context, provide some synonyms, act it out if you want to. It's a great, fantastic way to learn vocabulary and really augment vocab. It's nice also to see how many synonyms students know. They are full sponges, reservoirs of good tier 2 level vocabulary. And this is just a fun, gamified, silly way, team building, collaborative, competitive way to just have a focus on vocabulary for a little bit. So yeah, this is just one of many things that I do in my arsenal, in my Word Study Academy arsenal, to get focused on vocab. And surprisingly, these exercises actually work like Velcro. I find that my students, over the course of the academic year, if they give me an iota of effort, they really witness their vocabs skyrocket. Their diction becomes much more crisp and precise and accurate. So really dig it. So really like that. So if you're interested in that spinning wheel or these slides, feel free to email me at teachingwritingcoach@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to pass that along to you. As you know, in the summer months, I'm running my Teach It Right summer short course series. So the Word Study Academy is part of that. So it's a 60-minute intensive, and we're just going to focus on how to get students to really hone in on building their vocabs. How do you fill that vocabulary void? So if you're interested in exploring that, then you could take a look at my website, teachinghowtowrite.com, and take a look at the whole short course series. So we have the Nuance Academy, where we're going to really solidify how to teach grammar, punctuation, syntax, voice, rhythm, flow. I'm going to be doing AP Strategies for Success, where we're going to take a look at how my templates can be used uniformly to construct all 6 FRQs. So by 6, I mean when we combine Lang and Lit. We're going to do an alternative grading methods 2-hour intensive, and we'll delve into my Plato's Plato discussion modality as well this summer. So if you're interested in any of those things, take a look at teachingHowToWrite.com. So be well. Hopefully you can use this in your classroom as one way to elevate your Word Study Academy. And take care for now. Be well.